Mics. Test, test, test. Testing. Test. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. Testing. Test, test, test. Testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Testing, test, 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 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, test, 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 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, testing, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Can you hear me all right?
One, two, three. Mic check, testing, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Audio check. We're good? Cool.
Come back to that. I will also try to get Karoline Leavitt's reaction to some pretty startling rhetoric from Texas, the House rep there, Jolyn Jones, who said last night on TV when talking about fighting Republicans, quote, "So if you hit me in my face, I'm not going to punch you back in your face. I'm going to go across your neck." Pretty startling words there. Of course, Turning Point USA is not happy about this language. They're saying that it's rhetoric like this that got Charlie Kirk assassinated in the first place, a shot to the neck. So we'll try to get reaction to that as well. There are a lot of lingering questions that remain about this mini peace deal, this ceasefire, where it stands, with the VP on his way back now from Israel, telling reporters that the ceasefire is actually going better than he expected. And finally, a lot on Russia expected today. The Trump-Putin summit, of course, is on ice for now. We've got these new sanctions from the Treasury Department hitting those oil companies out of Russia. They want to try to change the calculus here when it comes to President Vladimir Putin. The NATO chief yesterday telling Fox that he does believe that sanctions will have an impact. And by the way, this is the last briefing here this week before the president takes off for his Asia trip. So questions about President Xi and those tariffs talks as well. Back to you. absolutely. In fact, we were talking with folks ahead of this briefing, and we were hearing that that might be actually one of the most popular questions of the day from the media here is questions about the renovations and construction going on, not too far away from here. So we'll see. Sorry. Hi. So, look, there's been a lot of pressure from Republicans over on Capitol Hill to get on with sanctions because they don't feel like the president of Russia is moving. So, of course, there is, it looks like we might be starting here shortly. So there has been a lot of pressure from that side. They've got this big sanctions bill over there, I believe 80 plus senators, bipartisan bill. You know, basically waiting to be put on the floor by Majority Leader John Thune. That's not happening just yet because every time they think that they're going to be able to do it, the White House comes along and basically, you know, has more negotiations or more talks with Russia. So this is one more step towards trying to get Putin to the table to see if it works, but this is something the president said he finally feels like he wanted to get done.
Here, is that mic on? It is now. Check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll give you a microphone. All right. Thank you. Sure.
I'm definitely the elder.
It's not great. It's not very obvious. actually had friends who are still older than me, get them into ski school in one.
Yeah.
They're out there hiring an instructor. Take them up after that, they still hire their bus. No, it's expensive. It's so much. My kids are still too, but I'm obviously not going to.
Oh no, yeah, and you're touching on skis right now. Different lines, but not like it's done.
Their mountains are more convenient.
The government said they're going to try to reduce.
So they still have rental some there are signs that they are, you know, China's doing this already now.
No, you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I apologize for my tardiness today, so let's get right to it. We'll begin today with some scheduling announcements for President Trump's upcoming trip to Asia. Tomorrow night at 11 p.m., the president will depart the White House to fly to Malaysia, where he will arrive on Sunday morning local time. It's a long flight. President Trump will participate in a bilateral meeting with the Prime Minister of Malaysia in the afternoon, and then he will attend the ASEAN Leaders Working Dinner that evening. On Monday morning local time, the president will fly to Tokyo. Tuesday morning local time, President Trump will participate in a bilateral meeting with the new Prime Minister of Japan. On Wednesday morning local time, the president will fly to Busan, where he will participate in a bilateral meeting with the president of the Republic of Korea, deliver keynote remarks at the APEC CEO luncheon, and then participate in a U.S. APEC leaders working dinner. On Thursday morning local time, President Trump will participate in a bilateral meeting with President Xi of the People's Republic of China before departing to return home to Washington, D.C. On Thursday night, upon arrival in Washington, President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump will participate in Halloween at the White House, where they will welcome law enforcement, military, and foster families. And I know many of us look forward to that. In other news, we are now on day 23 of the Democrat government shutdown. Senate Democrats have voted 12 separate times now to keep the government closed. Innocent Americans are suffering every day as a result. More than 500,000 civilian federal employees will miss a full paycheck tomorrow. Thousands of small business loans are going unapproved each month. This means almost $4 billion in capital is being withheld from small businesses across the country. The Democrat shutdown is also causing severe impacts at airports across the country. In one single day this week, the FAA had to issue ground stops impacting flights at Houston's George Bush Intercontinental Airport and Hobby Airport. 13,000 air traffic controllers who ensure that we all fly safely are continuing to work without pay. This is egregious and truly sad. Some of them are reportedly being forced to turn to driving for Uber and taking on other second jobs to make ends meet as the Democrats continue to shut down the government. Pilots are calling on Democrats to end this dangerous political game. The president of the Southwest Airlines Pilot Association called for the clean continuing resolution to be passed, saying, quote, "Our air traffic controllers and the broader air traffic system are already operating under immense pressure. A government shutdown only compounds that stress and threatens the efficiency of our skies." The Airline Pilots Association International, which represents more than 80,000 pilots, is sounding the alarm as well. They said this shutdown is undermining our system's safety. Resources are stretched thin, negotiations are delayed, and strain grows daily. With the Thanksgiving holiday approaching, we are nearing the busiest travel period of the entire year, when millions of Americans will go to airports to spend time with their loved ones. Let us be very clear from the White House today. If the Democrats continue to keep the government closed, we fear there will be significant flight delays, disruptions, and cancellations in major airports across the country this holiday season. If Democrats continue to shut down the government, they will also be shutting down American air travel. The White House is in constant communication with the air traffic controllers, with the airline associations, and with them, we urge Democrats to please pass the continuing resolution so we can just end this madness and this chaos and reopen the government. These are very avoidable consequences. The unnecessary pain, unfortunately, does not end there. Funding for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program known as SNAP, which provides food benefits to low-income families, is beginning to lapse this week in some states. If Democrats continue to hold Americans hostage, there will not be enough funds to provide SNAP benefits for more than 40 million Americans on November 1st. That is next week. Democrats are solely responsible for all of this unnecessary pain. Why are they doing it? To give taxpayer-funded health care benefits to illegal aliens, some of whom are violent criminals. During the 4 years of Joe Biden's administration, the Democrats forced Border Patrol to admit illegal aliens into our country with no legal status and minimal screening. A significant number of these individuals are the worst of the worst criminals: rapists, pedophiles, murderers, and even members of the terrorist watch list. Despite having no legal status, paroled aliens were able to file for work authorization, receive Social Security numbers, and access other benefits like Medicaid that are meant for Americans. Since I've found many in this room to repeatedly deny the reality that Democrats gave Medicaid benefits to illegals, and they continue to seek to do just that, I've brought a few verified examples for you today. These are examples of some of the illegals who received Medicaid benefits under President Biden's leadership, and this is what Democrats are wanting to do. This is why they are continuing to keep the government closed. An illegal alien from Laos was arrested for murder, robbery, and felony possession of a firearm. An illegal alien from Guatemala who was arrested for rape and burglary, an illegal alien from El Salvador who was arrested for strangulation, DUI, and burglary, an illegal alien from Mexico who was arrested for attempted murder. The Democrats' open border policies allowed these threats into our country, and then they provided them with free health care. The president and Republicans, through the One Big Beautiful Bill, implemented a common sense reform to end this fraudulent scheme. But that's why the Democrats are continuing to shut down the federal government. They are trying to reverse this and restore taxpayer-funded health care for illegal aliens like these. Throughout this shutdown, Democrats have said this quiet part out loud. Senator Chuck Schumer, the leader of the caucus that is refusing to open the government, said, quote, "Every day gets better as the shutdown continues." Ask the air traffic controllers if every day is getting better, Senator Schumer, and they will tell you absolutely not. House Democrat Catherine Clark said, "There are going to be families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility seriously, but this is one of the few leverage points that we have." Here is a House Democrat who is admitting that they are using Americans who are suffering as political leverage. And Senator Bernie Sanders said, "If you reopen the government, we lose our leverage." This is pure partisan games. A senior Democrat aide said the party will not end the shutdown, quote, "short of planes falling out of the sky." That is truly a disturbing statement. The Democrats clearly don't care about this suffering. They care about playing political games against President Trump, and this dangerous charade needs to end. The president and Republicans' position has been clear and unchanged. Pass a clean, nonpartisan funding bill to reopen the government. And then we can talk about all of the partisan issues that the Democrats wish to. If you're watching at home, we urge you to call your Democrat senators and tell them to put our country over their party and reopen the government today. Here in our new media seat, we have Brittany Gibson of Axios. Brittany, why don't you start us off for our Q&A today? Thank you for being here.
Two questions, if I may, Caroline. First is, we understand that the president and Republicans will not negotiate on ACA extensions until the government reopens. If and when that happens, what does the president think should be, or what are his plans for preventing rising healthcare costs for Americans?
It's a very good question, and I'll leave that to the president to negotiate that when Democrats vote to reopen the government. When it comes to lowering healthcare costs, the president is deeply committed to this. It's why he has spent so much time and effort negotiating with Big Pharma to lower the healthcare costs of prescription drugs. All of you have been in the Oval Office for multiple different announcements. We've had these most favored nations deals with these large pharmaceutical companies committing to lowering drug costs in this country. So it's something the president wants to do. And Brittany, one more point. I'll just point out the irony in Democrats holding the government and the American public hostage over a healthcare system that they created. The healthcare system was called Obamacare. Why? Because Democrats and President Obama implemented. And Republicans have always said it's a broken system, yes, but they caused it, and now they want to shut down the government to fix it. We need to open the government, and then we can have these very important conversations about healthcare.
And the second, on H-1Bs and foreign students, during the campaign, President Trump said he wanted to make it easier for foreign students to work at U.S. companies, staple a green card to every diploma. But the changes from several agencies now on H-1Bs are adding more obstacles to that. The administration is being sued over those changes. Can you explain the changes in the president's thinking on H-1Bs?
The administration will fight these lawsuits in court. The president's main priority has always been to put American workers first and also to strengthen our visa system. We know for far too long the H-1B visa system has been spammed with fraud, basically, and that's driven down American wages. So the president wants to refine this system, which is part of the reason he implemented these new policies. These actions are lawful, they are necessary, and we'll continue to fight this battle in court. Garrett.
Two questions on different topics, if you'll
Sure.
indulge me. On the pardon of Changpeng Zhao, and apologies if I'm mispronouncing that name, Binance has significant business interests with World Liberty Financial, the president's family's crypto company. How do you respond to the allegations from Democrats that this is a corrupt act?
I would respond and say the president is exercising his constitutional authority to grant clemency requests. And the President and the White House have a very thorough examination of every pardon request that comes to the President's desk. It is thoroughly reviewed by the White House Counsel Office, and I spoke with our great White House counsel about the pardon after it happened. This was an overly prosecuted case by the Biden administration. Even the judge in the case admitted that the Biden administration was pursuing a egregious over-sentencing of this individual, and the previous administration was very hostile to the cryptocurrency industry. So the President wants to correct this overreach of the Biden administration's misjustice, and he exercised his constitutional authority to do so. And to the Democrats, I would just say there's nothing more corrupt than what President Biden did on his way out the door, pardoning his extremely corrupt son and many of his associates.
On the ballroom, the first of which will probably be several questions about this today, I imagine.
Is it a big story?
It seems that way. The president's cost estimate has changed several times. I think it's up to $300 million now. Given the nature of all this, will the White House commit to releasing all of the donors and how much they're spending and how much of his own money the president is putting on the line to this?
We have released the full list of donors thus far. Perhaps there will be more people who want to generously contribute to this project. And the president, yes, has committed his own resources. And when he releases that information, which I'm very confident he will, you will all see that.
We'll see a dollar figure from the president?
Yes, you will. And I would also just add the president has been incredibly transparent. I would reject any notion otherwise when it comes to this ballroom project. It's something he personally has obviously taken an interest into and has talked with all of you in this room many times about. You have seen the model in the Oval Office. Last night he showed that for you. But when this plan was presented and when these renderings, as soon as they were complete, the president directed me to come out here and to share them with all of you. I did an entire opening remarks about what this ballroom project was going to look like. With any construction project, there are changes over time as you assess what the project is going to look like, and we'll continue to keep you apprised of all of those changes, but just trust the process. This is going to be a magnificent addition to the White House for many years to come, and it's not costing the taxpayers anything. The president is privately funding this ballroom addition to the White House grounds. Jennifer.
To follow up on that, one thing that's not in the president's model is the East Wing bunker, the president's emergency operations center. Can you say if his update, that $300 million, does that include the cost for upgrading that bunker?
Look, like any security enhancements that are made on the White House grounds, those will be made and maintained by United States Secret Service. As for the cost of the ballroom and the construction itself, all of that is going to be, like I've said, privately funded and paid for by the president himself and many generous patriots who have stepped up.
Included in that funding?
Correct.
Okay, and then can you say, well, that's all right, I'll skip that one.
Thanks. Ouija.
Thank you, Caroline. More ballroom questions.
Okay.
So the White House has explained that the reason you didn't submit construction plans to the NCPC is because that commission, along with others, don't have oversight over demolitions, but only over construction. And so far, you haven't built anything. So can you help us understand, can the president tear down anything he wants without oversight? Could he demolish this building or, say, the Jefferson Memorial?
So it's not the president who came up with that legal opinion himself. That's a legal opinion that's been held by the NCPC for many years. It's written, so we can get you that background and that research if you wish to include it in your reporting, because it is very important. They have ruled consistently, their general counsel has said, when it comes to phase one of this project, the tearing down of the current East Wing structure, a submission is not required legally for that. Only for vertical construction will a submission be required, and that's a legal opinion from them, and we are following that legal opinion. And again, I would just add, can any president do such a thing to the White House grounds? There have been many presidents in the past who have made their mark on this beautiful White House complex. This briefing room, as you all know, was not once a briefing room. It was a swimming pool. There have been presidents who have completely torn down the executive mansion. If you look at what President Truman did, some of the photos of the construction project that took place in those years, I think sitting here today, we're all grateful for those efforts and the modifications that happened at that time. And again, in due time, the East Wing is going to be more beautiful and modern than ever ever before. And in addition, there will be a big, beautiful ballroom that can hold big parties and state visits for generations to come.
So it sounds like the answer is yes, he can tear down whatever he wants. And then secondly, I mean,
that's not what we're saying. That's a legal opinion that's been held for many years. And
interpreting it.
no, it's something that presidents have done for years and years. In fact, I have some photos here. Thank you, Pat, to show you the construction that's taken place on the White House grounds. This is the construction of the West Wing in 1902. Look at this, the construction of the West Terrace in 1902. These images look quite similar to what you and the American people are seeing today, the construction of the East Terrace as well. You look at the construction of the West Wing expansion in 1934. So look, this is a legal opinion that's been held for many years. Look at, this is 1950. It looks a lot like what you were seeing today.
Can he demolish anything he wants?
What do you think
without
that
oversight?
rubble is? How did that rubble get there?
Right, so I'm asking, and then back to the donors.
Go ahead, Reagan.
Many of them are.
Two
Reagan,
questions.
go ahead.
One on immigration and another on Venezuela. It's being reported that the semi-truck driver suspected of killing 3 people in a DUI crash is an illegal immigrant who came in under the Biden administration. Do you know if California gave him a commercial driver's license? And then it also appears that California largely has not been cooperating with English proficiency standards. I'm wondering if the administration has any further plans to punish the state.
Yes, I can confirm that California gave this individual a license, and it is something that the Department of Transportation has already looked into. I know Secretary Duffy, who's doing a phenomenal job, has spoken on this many times in the crackdown that the Department of Transportation is taking on these licenses that are wrongfully being issued to people who clearly do not deserve to uphold these positions. As for this case in California, on October 22nd, ICE lodged an immigration detainer for this individual following his arrest by local authorities in California on charges, as you know, of manslaughter while intoxicated and driving under the influence. He killed 3 people, and he first entered the United States in 2022. Through the southern border, and he was released into our country by the previous administration. So now ICE has lodged a separate detainer for this individual, and these tragedies are following a disturbing pattern of these criminal illegal aliens being issued commercial vehicle licenses. And so yes, the Department of Transportation is absolutely cracking down on that. I defer you to them for any specifics.
Venezuela, President Trump has said Maduro doesn't want to mess with the United States, and this administration is continuing to position more military assets towards Venezuela. I'm wondering if the end goal of this narco-terrorist war is to implement a regime change in Venezuela.
The president has spoken on that, Reagan, and I certainly won't get ahead of him. What we've made very clear is that this administration is not going to tolerate international narco-terrorist organizations from trafficking drugs into the United States. And these cartels over time have grown more armed, well-organized, and violent. They have financial means, sophistication, and capabilities needed to operate in the way this administration has. And they have illegally caused the deaths of tens of thousands of American citizens each year. So that's where we are right now with respect to Venezuela, but also any country that is sending purposefully illegal narco-terrorists to the United States of America to bring illegal drugs. Why don't we go in the back?
The U.S. and Colombian relationship right now is at one of its lowest points in decades. We heard what President Gustavo Petro had to say about President Trump. We heard yesterday the response from President Trump. Is there any kind of compromises or gestures from the Colombian president that President Trump would like to see in order to de-escalate the tensions? Is it possible a de-escalation?
I don't think we're seeing de-escalation from the unhinged leader of Colombia right now, and I don't think the president, frankly, is interested in that at this point. He spoke on this yesterday, and I don't have anything to add to his comments. Go ahead.
Yes. Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you.
In addition to the ballroom and the Rose Garden
I'm going
patio,
into the back. Sorry. Go ahead.
In addition to the ballroom and the Rose Garden patio, is the president looking at any other renovations or significant kind of projects here at the White House?
Not to my knowledge, no. But he's a builder at heart, clearly. And so his heart and his mind is always churning about how to improve things here on the White House grounds. But at this moment in time, of course, the ballroom is really the president's main priority. Kristen.
Last week, President Trump announced that he had a productive call with Vladimir Putin. They scheduled a meeting in Hungary. Since then, he has canceled the meeting and he has imposed sanctions on Russian oil companies. Can you talk about what changed that led to this dramatic shift, or even just what occurred in the last week that got us from point A to point B?
Sure. Look, the president has always maintained that he would implement sanctions on Russia when he felt it was appropriate and necessary. And yesterday was that day. I think the president has also long expressed his frustration with Vladimir Putin and, frankly, both sides of this war. And he's always said in order to negotiate a good peace deal, both sides need to be interested in a good peace deal. And he feels as though, unfortunately, from the Russian side as of late, he has not seen enough interest and enough action in terms of moving the ball forward towards peace. And so a meeting between these two leaders is not completely off the table. I think the president and the entire administration hopes that one day that can happen again, but we want to make sure that there's a tangible, positive outcome out of that meeting, and that it's a good use of the president's time. Of course, he's traveling to Asia next week. He has a number of events coming up here on the home front as well. He's been incredibly busy, as you all know. You're all tired from covering him and his movements every day, and so we want to make sure it's a good use of the president's time, and the president doesn't want to waste his time, and he said that.
All between the Secretary of State and Lavrov that led President Trump to believe that President Putin or the Russians did not want a peace deal?
That was not the sole reason, no. I think the Secretary Rubio felt that was actually a productive call. But again, the president wants to make sure that a meeting between himself and President Putin will be a good use of his time.
But what exactly led to President Trump not believing, after his call on Thursday, where he said he did think he wanted peace and wanted a peace deal, to believing that Russians were not?
Again, the president wants to see action, not just talk. And I think the president is extremely motivated by the success of his peace deal in the Middle East to get things done. And he wants this war to come to an end. He's been saying it now for 9 months being in office, and he's grown increasingly frustrated with the lack of progress from both sides of this war. Mary.
For example.
Two quick construction questions, if I can. You mentioned any construction project comes with changes. The president had initially said that this project wouldn't interfere with or touch the current structure. Now he says to do this properly, he realized that the East Wing had to be demolished. This is the people's house. Why not inform the public of that change and when it was decided that the East Wing would have to be demolished?
Look, again, with any construction project, changes come, and we have informed all of you. We've been keeping you apprised of this project. We've shown you the renderings, and if you look at the renderings, it's very clear the East Wing was going to be modernized. Instead, in fact, I said that in the briefing when we initially introduced this plan to all of you and to the public.
But modernized and tearing down are two different things.
Well, again, the plans changed when the president heard counsel from the architects and the construction companies who said that in order for this East Wing to be modern and beautiful for many, many years to come, for it to be a truly strong and stable structure, this phase one that we're now in was necessary. And the president wants to do right by the people's house. And so that's exactly what he's doing. It's going to be, again, like I said, much more stable, strong, secure, and more beautiful than ever once it's complete.
And the First Lady's offices, where will those be? The First Lady's offices, the Social Secretary's office, and the East Coast. They will be back where they were.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Cattle ranchers who supported the president's election have raised some concerns about plans to import beef from Argentina. How will the Trump administration support those farmers?
Look, the president hears those concerns. He addressed them yesterday himself. President loves our ranchers, and our ranchers love our president. And in fact, the president did a lot for them in his first term here. They are struggling because of the many horrible policies of the previous administration. President loves our ranchers, and he also loves American consumers, and he wants to do right by both. So the immediate solution to the problem of the rising cost of beef, president wants to bring that down, as we have to increase our supply. And so that's what he's doing with respect to these imports. But the president also is looking out for our ranchers with a long-term plan that was released by the Secretary of Agriculture yesterday. It's a 3-part plan. It's very extensive and detailed. I would encourage all of you to read through it. But there's really 3 points to this plan that the president has agreed upon and has entrusted Secretary Rollins to implement. Number 1, strengthening U.S. cattle production through increased grazing access, endangered species reforms, enhanced disaster relief, increased access to capital, and reducing costs for new and young ranchers. We want to incentivize more Americans to get into this noble profession. Lowering long-term costs by cutting inspection costs, increasing market options for consumers with product of USA labeling, and ensuring consumers know that they are eating American beef. It's a good incentive for the American consumer. And lastly, growing the domestic herd while boosting long-term demand to reduce prices for consumers while growing the markets for our ranchers. So President hears them. He has to address both of these problems for the ranchers but also for the American consumer. He promised to lower costs, and that's what he's committed to doing.
Caroline, thank you. Two questions not on the ballroom. The first is, there's a Democrat in Texas who's actually running for Congress who said last night during an interview when talking about fighting Republicans and this administration, quote, "If you hit me in my face, I'm not going to punch you back in your face. I'm going to go across your neck." This has obviously really upset those folks over at Turning Point USA after the Charlie Kirk assassination. Just your response to that kind of rhetoric.
Just very jarring rhetoric, and I think it's very unacceptable. I hope the people of Texas will do the right thing and reject this person's candidacy. It should have no place in American politics.
And then just a quick second question on oversight Democrats that are saying that they're creating this master ICE tracker, basically tracking all ICE activity. We've seen the protests in New York just yesterday. Homeland Security is saying that this sounds like obstruction of justice. What do you say?
Again, this is actively putting the lives of our ICE agents at risk. We've seen media outlets, in fact, in this room, also write stories about ICE tracker apps that Democrats and other left-wing activists have created to track the location of ICE agents on the ground in our communities. Again, I've said this repeatedly and I will continue to say it. The men and women of ICE are outstanding people. I wish a Democrat on Capitol Hill would actually have the courage or the guts to stand up to their party and sit down with some of these men and women who are doing this incredibly difficult job of enforcing our federal immigration laws. They are, again, simply trying to enforce the law and do their jobs. And if Democrats spent a little bit more time understanding that and also focusing on the people who they are trying to get out of our country every single day. As I spoke about earlier, 3 innocent people in California are dead because an illegal alien who Democrats let into this country was wrongfully issued a trucker's driving license and clearly was not fit for the job because he was driving intoxicated and killed 3 innocent people. Democrats should focus a little bit more on that. Stop trying to fight this president and this administration on every turn and restore law and order. That's all that we and these brave men and women of ICE are trying to do. Mary.
Thanks, Caroline. I have 2 questions, one on San Francisco and one on the No Kings protesters. On San Francisco, the president said that he had a call with the mayor and he was planning on surging there, but now because the mayor really wants to fix it up himself, they're going to do that. Is this what Trump hopes happens in pretty much every city?
The president hopes, and I've said this so many times, and I think the president's conversation with the San Francisco mayor last night and his statement today prove the president is willing to work with anyone across the aisle, across the country, to do the right thing and clean up America's cities. He is genuinely interested in this effort to make our streets safer, to make our cities safe and clean again. And he heard from the mayor last night who told him that he is going to earnestly try to make his city better on his own. The president heard him out. He said, okay, I'll give you a chance. We'll be watching, and if you need us, we are here. And if I feel as though you continue to fail your citizens, the federal government may have to step in. But we'll continue to watch San Francisco, and that law enforcement operation has now been paused.
Thank you. And then on the No Kings protesters, I saw videos of people explicitly calling for violence against Stephen Miller, against the president, shirts saying we don't have enough assassins, calling for more political violence. Does the president want to see arrests here, and are we going to see arrests of these types of explicit calls to violence?
I would think myself, the president, and everyone here at the White House certainly hopes that anyone who is making violent and illegal threats in that way against public officials will be arrested and prosecuted.
Sure.
Thank you. 2 questions. Would the president support the Senate ending the legislative filibuster to end the shutdown?
This is something I haven't heard the president talk about much, so I don't want to speak on him for it. I'll let him answer that question himself.
And do you have an update on the NASA administrator nominee? Do you plan to nominate anyone soon? Or does the president nominate anyone soon? Sorry.
I'll leave that to the president himself. He'll make a decision in due time, and when he does, you will hear directly from him, as you always do. Back, we'll give our friends in the back a chance. Yes.
As you mentioned at the top of the briefing, USDA has warned that it will run out of funds to pay full SNAP benefits next month if the shutdown continues. Senator Hawley is floating a bill that would ensure SNAP benefits are continued to pay during the shutdown. Would the president support such a move? And you also announced that the administration was using tariff revenue to keep WIC going during the shutdown. How long will that last? And is anything similar being considered for SNAP?
Yes, the administration would absolutely support that legislation. We hope that it would come over the finish line, but the bill that will get everyone paid and put everyone back to work is the clean continuing resolution. That's what the president and Republicans want to see. Ed, go ahead, Ed.
Thanks, Caroline. On the Russian sanctions again, how much pressure do you think that this sanctioning these two Russian companies actually puts on President Putin? Because the last administration sanctioned two other oil companies. So how much economic pressure is this really?
A lot. If you read the sanctions and look at them, they're pretty hefty. And I saw some international news out of China this morning that they're scaling back oil purchases from Russia. We know India has done the same at the request of the president. The president has also pushed European countries, our allies, to please stop their purchases of Russian oil as well. So it's full court press for sure, and we expect that these sanctions are going to do harm, as the Secretary of Treasury said yesterday.
Could there be more? Is this just the first step, or could there be more sanctions?
I'll leave that to the president to decide. Sure.
Or heard the NBA gambling, involved in the gambling issue there. Does the president gamble? What does he think about that?
You know, I'm not sure. I don't think he does. I've been with him quite some time and I have not seen him gamble before. I don't think he's a big gambler, but you can ask him yourself for next time you have a chance to, Ed. Go ahead.
Thank you, Caroline. I've got two
Hi,
quick
Jake,
questions.
and then we'll go to you. Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Two quick questions. Back to the ballroom. It is a very spectacular ballroom, according
Thank
to the
you.
renderings. And if it's half as nice as the one at Mar-a-Lago, then future presidents are really going to appreciate it.
They will. Thank you, Jake.
First of all, is there like an official name? Like, are we calling it the Trump Ballroom, or does the president have a vision for what the name for the ballroom is going to be?
There will be an official name. I will let the president announce that once he firmly decides on it.
Question is, looking at these renderings, and it kind of got me thinking, he's likely going to go down as the greatest builder of this era, and you've been in on a lot of those meetings with him. Has, to your knowledge, has the subject of rebuilding the Holy Temple in Jerusalem come up?
It has not. No. It has not. I don't. I'm sorry, Jake. Go ahead.
Caroline, on the CC pardon, could this clear the way for Binance to resume U.S. operations?
I won't get ahead of that. That's something for Treasury or the Departments of Commerce to comment on, so you're welcome to ask them.
And then one follow-up question. Any more details on the president's Walter Reed visit? The readout from his doctor mentioned advanced imaging. What procedure was he referring to?
Advanced imaging is something that presidents receive and people receive when they go to the doctor, and so we provide a detailed readout of that physical, and I would encourage you back to that. Presidents and I don't know the exact imaging that took place, but as the physician's note said, the president is in incredibly good shape, and I think that's evidenced here every single day. Danny.
Thanks, Caroline. Back to the ballroom, I'm afraid. I just wanted to ask, because in July the White House said that it would cost $200 million. Yesterday the president said $300 million. Is $300 million now the operative figure, and why did it go up by so much?
$300 million is the figure, and again, it's not going to cost the taxpayers a dime. So we look forward to this project continuing, and we will continue to keep everyone apprised on it. Perhaps the president will even bring you all out to see it one day at the appropriate time. You're also going to hear from the president directly in about an hour. He's hosting an event with the Homeland Security Task Force. This was a newly created federal task force that the president and his law enforcement team have put together. I would encourage you all to tune in to the remarks. They have really done a tremendous job at refocusing how federal law enforcement and local law enforcement work together. There will be some local sheriffs and law enforcement officials in attendance as well, and they'll be talking about the success and the many arrests they have made of drug traffickers and cartel members all across the country by just simply working together. So we will see you at the event. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, Caroline.
Donald Trump and Republicans continue to be nowhere to be found. They're not taking these issues seriously. They continue to keep the government shut down and hurt everyday Americans. Why? It's apparent to the American people that when it comes to the Republican approach, cruelty is the point. Questions?
I have a redistricting question. I know there's some Democrats in Illinois who have expressed concern about redistricting and how it would dilute black representation in the state. Do you still want Illinois to push forward with the redistricting?
There are ongoing conversations in Illinois, but there is no congressional map that would move forward that would dilute the representation of black and Latino communities in Illinois or in any other state that is currently held by Democrats. Thanks.
Thank you, Leader Jeffries. Jelana Jones running for Sylvester Turner's seat in Texas. She said on CNN, if you hit me in my face, I'm not going to punch you back in your face. I'm going to go across your neck. Is rhetoric like that appropriate, particularly in light of the threat against your life?
Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with the context in which that was said. But let me just say, of course, again, political violence that we've seen in this country intensify throughout this year is unacceptable in any form against anyone for any reason. Thanks.
You previously said that you were going to talk to Mamdani before early voting begins. Early voting begins on Saturday. Is that scheduled? And did you watch the mayoral debate? What are your thoughts?
I have not had an opportunity to see the mayoral debate. I did see the end of the Knicks game, but I expect to have a conversation with the Democratic nominee at some point between this moment that we're in right now and early voting, which begins, I think, in the early part of Saturday. Thanks.
Thank you, Leader. Senator Johnson is talking apparently to Van Hollen's office and Senator Peters' office about a bipartisan bill to pay furloughed workers. If Speaker Johnson brings the House back in session to vote on that bill, which is being law, is that something House Democrats could support?
It seems to me that Speaker Johnson has no intention of bringing Republicans back to Washington to do their jobs, because they're the ones that shut down the government. They can't justify why they shut the government down. We as Democrats have made clear we want to sit down with anyone, anytime, any place in order to reopen the government, stand by our hardworking federal civil servants, find a bipartisan path forward toward a spending agreement that actually meets the needs of the American people and actually improves the quality of life of the American people, and at the same time decisively address the Republican health care crisis. We've also made clear as House Democrats that we will consider in good faith anything bipartisan that emerges from the Senate. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. Just want to follow up on the death threat and the Speaker. Just to put a pin in it, have you heard from the Speaker or any member of Republican leadership in the days since the death threat?
Not a single Republican has reached out, either from the House, the Senate, or the White House in connection with the death threat and the arrest. But that does not surprise me in terms of the environment that we're in, because these individuals, these extremists, are the ones, they can't justify the fact that Donald Trump pardoned hundreds of violent felons on his first day in office, people who brutally beat police officers, including seriously injuring on these Capitol steps, 140. And then on Donald Trump's first day in office, he pardons these violent felons and then unleashes them on American communities all across the country. And many of them have reoffended. And the Republicans, of course, as they always do, have supported that extreme action. And they just can't simply justify the fact that they've put the safety and well-being of the American people in jeopardy by their reckless actions.
Would you say that not hearing from the Speaker, does that indicate like a waning in the relationship that you have? You say it's a forward-looking relationship that does that change the way that you hold the relationship, view the Speaker, that you haven't heard from him?
The most important issues for us here in the Congress is to address the quality of life issues for the American people. We need to drive down the high cost of living, and we remain committed to finding a bipartisan path toward doing that in the context of this spending agreement. And of course, we have to decisively address the Republican healthcare crisis. For us, this moment is all about the American people. Like, understand the reality of what the American people are confronting right now. Costs are way too high. And we know that Donald Trump and Republicans, they promised to lower costs on day one. That's what they said all of last year, lied to the American people, because costs haven't gone down, costs have gone up. Inflation, up. And we're going to see that again tomorrow when the numbers come out. Electricity bills, through the roof. Housing costs, out of control. Grocery costs, way up. Trump tariffs, causing thousands of dollars in additional expense on everyday Americans. And now, the extremists, the Republicans in the Congress, in the House, in the Senate, in the White House, could care less about the fact that tens of millions of Americans are about to experience dramatically increased premiums, copays, and deductibles. That's out of control, and they could care less. What are they doing? Destroying the White House so that Donald Trump can build a ballroom where he's celebrated like a wannabe king. Donald Trump's trying to steal $230 million from the taxpayers by shaking down the Department of Injustice. And these extremists, they somehow have managed to find $40 billion to bail out Argentina, and they can't find a dime to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits for working class Americans, everyday Americans, and middle class Americans. The whole thing is a disgrace, and the American people see it. Thank you.
On redistricting, we're hearing that you're getting involved in Ohio's redistricting process. Can you expand a little bit about what you're doing, who you're reaching out to?
We are going to support efforts to make sure that there are fair maps all across the country in the face of what Republicans are endeavoring to do, which is to rig the midterm elections by gerrymandering congressional maps, because Republicans know that if the election were held today, they would lose, and lose decisively. Republicans have done nothing to make life better for the American people. The only thing that they've done this year is to enact their one big ugly bill, largest cut to Medicaid in American history. And on top of that, about $186 billion that they took from the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, literally stole this money from the mouths of hungry children, seniors, veterans, and families. And why did the Republicans do all of this? So they could reward their billionaire donors with massive tax breaks that they then made permanent. So the Republican agenda has been to hurt everyday Americans in order to reward their billionaire donors. They have nothing to show for the fact that Republicans have complete control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency, which is why Donald Trump and Republicans, running scared, are trying to rig the congressional map and steal the midterm elections from the American people. We will not let it happen. So in Ohio, there's an opportunity to go to referendum if the Republicans at Donald Trump's direction pass a gerrymandered partisan map. And if that happens, just like we're doing in California right now, and we'll also do in Missouri, we will take the issue to the voters of Ohio, and I'm confident that we will prevail. Thanks.
Jeffries, you talk about SNAP. Millions of people could lose benefits next month. States are already warning them that their cards won't load with their food assistance, and that's as a direct result of the shutdown. Does that put more pressure on you to find some sort of agreement with Republicans?
Let's be clear about the situation that the American people confront. As part of their one big ugly bill, they cut $186 billion from the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program. That's the reason why the American people are at risk of going hungry, millions of them. And as has been the case in prior government shutdowns, the money can be found by the administration if they chose to do so. In fact, there's about $5 billion available in a contingency fund for emergency circumstances just like this. But the administration refuses to agree to use it. Why? Because they want to starve the American people as part of their continuing effort to visit cruelty on everyday Americans. And I think at the end of the day, the administration as they've done in other instances, will realize that they're being held accountable for having shut down the government. They're being held accountable for inflicting pain on the American people. And they will back away from their threats to starve the American people by depriving them of the earned benefit of nutritional assistance.
Mr. Leader, just back on redistricting, have you had any conversations with any legislative leaders in Virginia? Have you been briefed on their plan, and do you have any comment or reaction on it?
The private conversations that I've had with legislative leaders and governors across the country will remain private.
But can you be specific about Virginia, because some congressional members seem caught off guard by this?
The people in Virginia, in terms of the legislative leaders, will speak for themselves in terms of the actions that are being contemplated.
Leader Jeffries,
Thanks.
do you have any hope that Mike Johnson will bring the House back to session in the next 2 weeks? And do you think there's any way a bipartisan agreement regarding health care could be made in that time?
Yeah, we remain ready, willing, and able to sit down with our Republican colleagues, either here at the Capitol or back at the White House, in order to reopen the government, to find a bipartisan path forward, and to decisively address the Republican health care crisis. But it requires immediate and urgent action in order to actually address the situation that the American people find themselves in. Remember, here's the scope of what we're talking about in terms of this health care crisis. Donald Trump promised to love and cherish Medicaid, and then Republicans turned around and enacted the largest cut to Medicaid in American history, $1 trillion cut. Hospitals, nursing homes, and community-based health centers are closing all across the country now because of what Republicans did in their one big ugly bill. Republican policies have led to a situation where Medicare may confront a $536 billion cut by the end of this year if Congress doesn't act. Because of the Republican refusal to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits, tens of millions of people are receiving notices right now that their premiums are about to skyrocket, and they're going to face medical bankruptcy or the inability to see a doctor when they, their children, or their families need one. And at the same period of time, Republicans continue to put forward a partisan bill here in the House that would cut about $1.7 billion from the Centers for Disease Control, cut a little under $500 million from the National Institute of Health, and they're depriving the American people of the ability to get life-sustaining and life-saving vaccines. This is the Republican healthcare crisis. It is enormous. It is devastating. It is crushing everyday Americans. And that's why Democrats believe decisive action needs to be taken. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
would have remembered eventually.
I'd like to do something else. Hopefully soon enough. Thanks, Kim. Yeah.
If you want to pick some pictures, your camera's on.
How are you?
Okay, I'll take two. Okay. This way, this way. Okay. Head on in. Head on in. Head on in.
Thank you.
Okay, got it. Right here. Thank you. Right here. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Great. Go. This way. Thank you. All right. 1, 2, 3. Okay, right over here. Thank you. This way. Thank you. Here, 1, 2, 3. All right, got it. Thank you. Thank you. All right, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Got it. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. All right, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Right over here. You got it. Okay. Right this way. Thank you. What's up? All right. Yeah. All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Anna, he's wanting to ask a question behind you.
How are you?
Yeah, just a few more. We're just gonna do some more photos. Yeah. Got it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
This way, thank you. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Alright, here you go. After you've done taking photos. Right out this way, ma'am. This way.
We're trying to get this on.
Come on through here. We're gonna do the photos. I think he's trying to get audio up. Is that what you want?
We're trying to get audio by
Alright. Thank you so much. Up to you.
Thank you.
Stop. We're together? Yeah. Thank you. Together? All right. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much. Right here, this way. Thank you so much. Right this way.
How are you?
All right. 1, 2, 3. I think so. All right, go. Thank you. Thank you. Right this way. Yeah. Got it. Thank you. Right this way. Right in the middle. Thank you. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Right over here. Right this way. Brandon, go now. Go right the right. Right. Yeah. Have your phones ready. Nicole. Camera ready? Yeah, you switch off so that it's ready. Thank you. Go for it. Thank you. Right in the middle. Thank you. We'll give you a 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Right over here. Right this way. Thank you. Right this way. Okay. Okay.
How are you?
Okay. Yeah, thank you. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Right this way. All right, next. Follow this way. Thank you. All right, 1, 2. All right, got it. Right here. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. All right, 1, 2, 3. Can you text him? Right over here. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Right this way. Ready? Right here. 1, 2, 3. Got it. Thank you. Right this way. Thank you. Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you. Come on in. Thank you. Right this way. Right here. Done. Thank you. 1, 2.
Okay, so now we are asking everyone,
right this way.
members who would like to take a picture, go ahead and line up. Go ahead and line up.
Right this way.
Thank you. Please, so we all have an opportunity to take a picture. Ahora le pedimos pedimos a todos los miembros que gusten tomar una foto, por favor pónganse en este orden, por favor tengan orden para la foto y que todos tomen fotos. Gracias. En orden, por favor. Gracias.
Thank you.
You will all get an opportunity. You will all get an opportunity.
This way. Thank you.
We've already got it. We got it. We just have a long line, sorry.
I got it. Thank you.
Oh, shit. Just line up again.
What's going on? What's going on?
Thank you. Okay. Appreciate it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right here, ma'am. Yeah, right this way.
Once you have taken your picture, we ask that you please go and move the side aisles and sit back down in your seat. Taking your picture, please have a seat so that the residents can take a picture as well. Ya cuando se tomen sus fotos, por favor, regresen a sus asientos. Gracias.
Thank you. God bless you.
She already got it.
All right, here you
Thank you. How are you? Nice to see you. You can't stop. You can't stop.
Vanessa, phone's ready.
No, when I saw that, I was like,
Vanessa.
was that 6 years ago? Getting married? Yes. If you don't do it,
Got it. Right here. There you go.
well, like, you're getting married.
Right here. Thank you. Right here. Right over here.
Nice to see you.
Right here. I have your phone.
Governor.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, right here. I have a group of 13. All right, got it. Love that. Phone right this way. Let's encourage beautiful. Here you go. Out this way. Out this way. This way. Here.
We have it all a group picture of our region.
You take like. Come on, you guys. Come on. Let's go fast. Come on. Let's go.
Governor. What's the question? One second. What's that for the president? What's that?
That was always absurd. The whole pretext was nonsensical. Not only was it blatantly illegal, he would have lost in the courts, but he would have lost in the court of public opinion. I mean, San Francisco's enjoying a significant reduction in crime. Everybody knows that. It's universally understood. Anyone who's been out here, does business here, and I think emphasis on business. I mean, clearly business leaders made the phone call to Donald Trump, and we know who he listens to now.
Governor, do you think the threat exists for other cities still?
What's that?
Do you think the threat
Yeah, well, of course. It's Donald Trump. He's a chaos, absolutely.
So you're not
He's a chaos
taking his
president.
word at face value?
Well, his word was he has decided, as he often does, to change his mind, which he seems to do on an hourly basis, and decided for the moment on the basis of some very powerful, wealthy people who made phone calls to him to back off, because it seemed to be in everyone's financial interest that they not make a spectacle of San Francisco, which is enjoying a rebirth and a renaissance as the center of the universe, as the golden goose. And it's one Donald Trump understands intimately, because it's the reason that he's made a few $1 billion on this great grift in the last few months as president. Billions of his dollars have come from Silicon Valley, from crypto industries, and from folks that are very well connected. So those folks made phone calls and put pressure on him. And again, the pretext was absurd. It was laughable. There was nothing going on in San Francisco to justify it. It's just completely illegal. So in every way, it's not surprising, because it's so consistent with who Trump is and how broken this man is, that it would take business leaders to make phone calls, not the people that he should be representing. And those that are under deep anxiety and fear that didn't show up to work today because of folks that are assembled in need space. So I'm not thinking for a second that's the end of this in California. Quite the contrary. This guy's just winding up. Watch Election Day. Watch ICE, not just National Guard. Watch what's going on in your own eyes all across this country. This guy is a chaos president, and I don't know what more symbolic or substantive example you need of that than what he just did to the east wing of the White House.
Any conversation with the president or Homeland Security or any federal agencies?
We've had plenty of those conversations in the past. We were aware of some new deployment of our guard. We'll see if it's being held up. It's up in Portland to be determined. But again, if you think this story was ended and it's got a period or an explanation next to it, come on, you guys are too smart. You know better. But I'm very pleased. I want to applaud the temperance of the mayor and the job he did receiving that phone call from the president. I've been on those phone calls as well, and I appreciate those business leaders who made those phone calls, and I appreciate for the moment this guy came to his senses. He's an arsonist, putting out his own fires. These are fires of his own making. This whole thing is theater, but it has real economic consequences, and it has real emotional consequences to people, many that you see here. I mean, this is one of the most diverse rooms in one of the most diverse states, the world's most diverse democracy. And these people don't think these games are fun. And they don't think this is ending. They don't think the President of the United States had his word, and nor should they. And so we're very vigilant and mindful, but nonetheless relieved for the people of San Francisco at this moment.
Another boost for Prop 50.
Well, it just reinforces. I mean, this is a great turnout for Prop 50. And look, Prop 50 is our reaction to this authoritarianism that's going on. These attacks, these assaults. This guy is wrecking this country. He's wrecked the economy. He said we were going to be wealthier and healthier. We're poor and now sicker. I mean, this is an imperial presidency. He's failing and flailing. And in response to that, he wants to rig next year's midterm election because he knows he's going to lose. And he said that, by the way, at the White House 48 hours ago. And so the only way he can win is to cheat. And Prop 50 pushes back against that in a very aggressive way. And this state is going to fight fire with fire. We're going to win, but we're going to win because of the folks behind it. Thank you, guys.
We have to do group
Jerry.
I know. It's a minute away. I know, right?
All right, folks, we're going to do group photos, all right? So one camera, and then that person is going to give it to all of you. So we're going to do groups of... All right, let's keep going. Keep going. Come in. If you don't want a photo, you can step out, but we're going to take a group picture.
Excuse me.
Thank you. Come in.
Have you had a picture at all? Because you're not getting a picture at all. Come on.
Sorry, I'm trying to.
Everyone exit this way.
Yeah.
1207.
Right, so
I'll meet you guys there. I'm just gonna go tell them now.
Tell the rest of the staff where to go. Let me, ouch. I'm just turning this off.
My check. Testing, 1, 2, 3, check. Check, 1, 2, 3, my check. 1, 2, 3, probando. 1, 2, 3, my check. Check. My check. No?
Hey, Marcy. So the president of the Chinatown Chamber of Commerce, Jimmy King. So he's here.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Nice
Marcy.
to meet you.
Yeah.
Marcy Rodriguez from Enlace. Thank you for being here. Of course, yes.
They're gonna be emceeing, right? So, and then Noah is also with attorneys. The attorneys, when
Chicago and
Channel 1.
you know, funny. So they were there yesterday. Remember they did a statement, but they're also part of the legal lawsuit. So I like to see at the end.
We're
not officially, but
labeled. But I sat in on the team.
All right, cool.
I was there, but I wasn't. I'm not part of that legal team, but I was there to listen.
Okay.
So I think it'll be good to like some of the things that we are doing in terms of documenting the stuff, because like what they did today, when like, and I was telling Noah, because I've been working direct, I'm a plaintiff on the thing, right? But I'm not an attorney, so I'd rather have him talk. I think one of the things that it was very clear when they did tear gas earlier, right? That's what really created all this chaos. When we confronted Bovino about the tear gas, said, look, you're being contempt if you use that tear gas because the judge told you not to do it. He had it the whole time. He didn't do it. He did not do it because he knows what he's doing is illegal. So it's important, I think, to add how people can document this because the tear gas someone yesterday too, Eddie.
Can you say some words about that?
Yeah, I can say something. There's
How about you? Would you like to say some words? We left room for people, so we're asking everybody to keep their comments 2 to 3 minutes in case other people show up.
Solidarity.
Yeah,
I would like to know that more details about it.
Yeah. So one thing I can share is like, you know, like today what they did is like things escalated because they tried to come to the discount mall, right? And then people push back, right? So go ahead. Let me just move this way. And so basically what's happening is affecting the businesses now because people are afraid of coming. Because the tear gas, they arrested the security guard because he didn't let him in. They arrested a 16-year-old kid that was protesting outside. So they're minors, you know what I mean? And this is not immigration. So basically, that's really what is having people like upset because it is like now people are not coming to work and they're not coming to shop. They just and this was the second day. Yesterday was bad. They arrested 8 people. Today they arrested 2. 2 of them U.S. citizens. You know, just because he didn't let him in. So that's where. So I think it would be good as yesterday. What I think was very powerful is that as representative of the Chinatown Chamber, we're in solidarity and we stand here and encourage people to support our small businesses. That can be very good. If it's just short statement,
Of course.
because you're doing solidarity, just your presence here is alone good. But if it's a quick statement, that would be good.
Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, okay. Do it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Because we want to show like a united all immigrant communities. You know?
Yes, and I would just say that as our Chinese community, we are all immigrant community as well. We would like to support all the community businesses and what we are from the chamber. Why now that what they're doing right now is already giving a big impact to our community business. And, we just want to do fairness and do all the people, right?
Exactly. Yeah, so just simple. Thank you for being here.
Of course.
This is Rebecca. Jimmy is the president of the Chinatown Chamber of Commerce.
Nice to meet you. Okay, thank you.
Support. And then Noah is from the Chicago United, so he's going to be talking as an attorney.
Okay. Noah is going to talk as an attorney.
So he's talking about what we're doing with the TRO.
Okay.
I do not have a sign.
PRP, ICER, all of the above.
He's from a different organization.
So they're Chicago. Yeah, they're Chicago or Chicago United Family.
On, down.
No, he has an extra eye. Yeah.
So we are doing like another one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's mine. Yeah.
Mike is here.
Whatever balance is there.
But the kids are going crazy. There are a lot of rumors. So we don't want to mix it. Three others.
Yeah, because I was like,
thank you. And there, but after this, we're gonna go.
I don't want to.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Listen. Appreciate why we got 400 hugs today.
I love them and I'll take them all.
That's nice. Yeah. I think that. Could we have? Can you tell them if we can have it? I'm sorry, everybody. Can we have our speakers maybe on the kind of on the first row of the sideline so it's easy for them to come up to the podium? Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Everybody got a sign of one?
No, I was going to give someone the pictures.
I didn't, but I ran into fucking Starbucks TSF. Thank you. Appreciate it. I ran to Hut.
Testing. Testing. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you guys for coming out again today, number 2, as federal agents again swarm Chicago's southwest side. My job today is to go make the run of show a little easy, and I'm going to ask Marcela Rodriguez, the Executive Director of Enlace Chicago and co-chair of the Illinois Latino Agenda.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here once again. We were, some of us came together yesterday. As Angel said, I'm Marcela Rodriguez, executive director, I'm sorry, of the of Enlace Chicago, and I'm co-chair of the Illinois Latino Agenda. I woke up this morning and I didn't realize that today I was going to have the opportunity to realize one of my dreams, which is if I wasn't doing the work that I do today, I'd probably be an actress, according to me, in my mind. And I didn't know I was going to be a part of the Gestapo reality show. I witnessed firsthand the disorder and the chaos that these federal agents, ICE, and CPB bring to our neighborhoods. Once again, they were here yesterday creating havoc, and they are here again today. But so are we. And we will continue to be here as many times as we need to be here. We need to get them to understand that we are not going to go anywhere. Our community needs to understand and know that they are not alone, that we are going to stand with them every day, and we are going to show up for them every day. And we'll see, we'll play this getting tired game and see who gets tired first. They come to our communities, and once again, one car almost hit me today. They are driving down our streets, around our schools, trying to injure us, trying to scare us. The community is angry. We are angry. And we need to let them know that we are together. We are coming together not just with the Latino immigrant community, but with the Chinese immigrant community, with the Islamic immigrant community, with the Arabic immigrant community, with the Polish immigrant community. We are in solidarity with each other, and we will continue to be here. And with that, I'm going to bring up to the mic Alderperson Mike Rodriguez.
Thank you, Marcy, for this. So it's with really mixed feelings that I come here today. I am very happy to report that the 8 individuals that were detained yesterday in Little Village, all of the citizens that were detained have been released, including 2 of my staff, one of which is here with me today, Elian Baena, also who is a elected official, the 10th District Commissioner for the Community Safety and Police Accountability Commission. But it's with a heavy heart as well that I make that announcement, because we know that there are a number of family members, parents, who didn't wake up today sharing breakfast with their children. Tonight they won't be having dinner with their husbands or wives. In fact, there may be months until they see their family together, and it may never happen again here in the United States of America. The fact is, I stood 1 foot away from Greg Bovino yesterday, asking him why he was here and telling him to go home. Because the streets of Little Village belong to us. The streets of Little Village are us. We keep us safe. Today I'm here also to announce that my office at 4035 West 26th Street, right off of Pulaski and 26th, in the heart of Little Village, will be an immigrant triage center for the family and loved ones that have been kidnapped by this federal administration. There, for the next several days, you will find the staff of Senator Dick Durbin and Congressman Chuy Garcia. Also, I think we just confirmed the mayor's office will have staff, and we're looking at potentially the governor's office as well. We'll have staff with us in my office for the next 48 hours at least, because we believe ICE will be back. I'm sorry to say that, but we do think that ICE will be back. But let me tell you something. We will be ready. We will stand united. We will stand ready to push back. We will stand ready to exercise our First Amendment rights. And we will stand ready to support not only the immigrants of our community, not only the citizens of our community, but people who are our brothers and sisters, who are our neighbors, who are our loved ones, and who are our family members. Brevemente en español, soy Mike Rodríguez, concejal del Distrito 22. Quiero anunciar de que mi oficina se va a convertir a una oficina concentrada de apoyar a las familias y los sus seres queridos de nuestra gente que sea secuestrado por los agentes federales de Donald Trump. Se va a encontrar en mi oficina en la Pulaski, la 26, en la Komensky 26, 4035 al oeste de la 26, entre las 8 de la mañana a 6 de la tarde mañana y hasta las 5 hoy. La oficina de Chuy García, congresista, senador Dick Durbin, oficiales del alcalde y el gobernador van a estar en mi oficina apoyando a nuestros residentes, ciudadanos y sin papeles que sean impactados de esas redadas ridículos que han pasado ayer y hoy en nuestra comunidad y que estamos esperando tristemente mañana y los siguientes días. Vamos a ser unidos en contra de esta agenda anti-inmigrante, anti-Chicago. Vamos a estar muy unidos. Muchas gracias y ahora te presento al congresista Chuy García.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, for a second straight day, we felt the weight of a bankrupt effort to punish our community, to frighten and to instill fear in our community, led by Greg Bovino. Why did he come back again today? because our community stood up and confronted him yesterday.
Yes.
And the community pointed out how morally bankrupt this operation is, how economically damaging at the national level and at the local level it is, and most importantly, what a trampling of the Constitution ICE is carrying out throughout the country. And we stand here today resolved to continue the resistance, to protect our community, to defend our community. I've lived here for 57 years, and I've never seen the type of shameful practices and tactics employed by ICE and other federal agents. Cowardly, that's why you cover your face. Cowardly, that's why you cover your name. Because you're not proud to serve, because you're not serving anyone except the evil forces that seek to oppress us, to drive us into the shadows of society, and to make us silent. But we're not silent. We're here and we are morally defiant because we're on the right side of history and of this cause. I'm proud to announce that tomorrow a fact-finding delegation of members of Congress, numbering almost 20 from across the country, will be here to document what has transpired and to return to Washington to fight for the rights of immigrants and the rights of everyone who wants our democracy reclaimed and restored. That will happen tomorrow. So, Little Village, Chicago, Illinois, sanctuary locations across the country, you are not alone. We hear you, we appreciate you, and we intend to act. Thank you. Muy buenas tardes. Por el segundo consecutivo día, esta mañana, nuestra comunidad fue atacada nuevamente por un equipo de agentes federales que moralmente son corruptos y están en la bancarrota. ¿Por qué regresaron por el segundo día? Porque nuestra comunidad demuestra resistencia, porque nuestra comunidad dice no vamos a aceptar lo que quieren imponer a nuestro pueblo, y porque nuestra comunidad dice defenderemos y protegeremos a toda persona en nuestro vecindario. Porque este vecindario es nuestro, nosotros lo construimos, nosotros lo hemos hecho lo que es una fortaleza en la ciudad de Chicago. Hacen todo esto porque buscan crear una clase de personas sin derechos que pueda ser explotada y que vivirá en las sombras. Pero nosotros rechazamos vivir en las sombras, reiteramos nuestros derechos humanos y nuestros derechos constitucionales, y por esa razón mañana representantes del Congreso de los Estados Unidos estarán en Chicago documentando, hablando con el pueblo que ha sido afectado, con los vecindarios, para retornar a Washington y luchar para restaurar el orden de la ley y de la Constitución. No nos van a atemorizar, seguiremos resistiendo, seguiremos unidos y seguiremos en unión con el resto de la gente de Chicago y del estado de Illinois. Que viva la democracia. Muchas gracias.
I'd like to bring up Alderman Cicho Lopez from the Alderman of the 25th Ward.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, buenas tardes. And want to first thank everybody for coming here today. This being a really difficult time. We're just processing the atrocities that happened yesterday. And this morning, we found ourselves in a much more undignified, terrorist, and cruel action by ICE agents. I want to thank all the community because, as we said yesterday, we're going to come with bigger numbers and more united. And I want to thank all the people, all the immigrant community that is coming together, all our city coming together to protect not only Little Village, not only La Villita, to protect a city or city that is at risk by an illegal occupation and siege. So I want to share just what we found this morning. And I'm grateful for the efforts of attorneys and rapid responders and everybody who helped make sure that everybody got released yesterday. So we talk about immigration. What we saw today was a united community that did not let agents come into the parking lot here in the discount mall. So I want to thank our neighbors, our courageous leaders that stood and hold the line. It is important that we recognize that.
Rapid responders, thank you.
Thank you so much. And I want to thank in particular the person who was arrested today was the security guard at the discount mall that was arrested for asking a judicial warrant. That, by the way, a federal judge demanded that they fulfill. Not only they're in contempt of these orders, but they continue to defy them. They define our laws, they're defying what is legal and constitutional. And what they're doing is outside the law, is illegal, is immoral, is wrong, and we're going to stop it now, before it goes any worse. What we also saw after the detention of the security guard was the deployment of tear gas. Also, another thing that the judge mandated to stop. Another violation, documented, filmed and documented by many of us, including attorneys. And we told Bobino yesterday, and we told him today, you are in contempt of judicial orders. And as he held a tear gas on his hand, he did not dare to deploy another one. So he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing, and we must hold him accountable. As the mayor said, if the Congress and Senate, I'm glad Congressman Garcia is bringing a delegation, and I invite all the media, international media, to come and see the terror that they're deploying in our city. What they did after that is even more despicable. They went and they hit and they abused and they hit a minor. That's what they did just outside, behind the shadows. So they brutalized a minor and they arrested another 16-year-old that is still in custody. And we demand that they release these innocent people who have not done anything but protest a tyrant, a dictator, someone who is trying to impose terror in our city. We're demanding immediate release of everybody. Our security guard, our minors, and all the residents are being arrested without judicial warrants. And that needs to be emphasized. That's terrorism. That anybody can be snatched from our community. There was another gentleman who was another Pilsen resident that was detained in 21st and Paulina going to work. They are not criminals. These are neighbors. These are people going to work, going to school, going to hospitals, and these cowards are even waiting for people outside churches. That's who they are. So today in Little Village, I'm grateful for all of you for coming. We hold the line here. And we hold the line in Chicago for the rest of the country. I'm thankful. I'm proud to be in Chicago today. And I'm thankful for everybody who's standing up and demanding the immediate release of everybody who is being illegally detained and the end of the siege and occupation. Enough is enough. Our streets. Finalmente y brevemente en español. Agradezco la presencia de la comunidad, como dijimos el día de ayer. Vamos a venir con más números y en más unidad. Agradezco a la comunidad polaca, a la comunidad asiática, musulmana, a toda la comunidad migrante y a todo Chicago, que el día de hoy no le permitió a ICE entrar aquí al Discount Mall. Y agradezco el coraje, la dignidad del pueblo de la Villita que no permitió que vengan a aterrorizarnos. Eso es lo que provocó la escalada de violencia que demostraron estos mercenarios, que vienen a atacarnos y a humillarnos. Lo que vimos es trágico, el arresto de un guardia de seguridad por demandar una orden judicial. Brutalizaron a 2 menores de edad, uno de ellos todavía en custodia de ICE. Demandamos su liberación inmediata, demandamos el cumplimiento de las órdenes judiciales y el fin de esta ocupación ilegal. Agradezco al congresista el haber traído delegaciones de federales, a la prensa internacional local que venga a constatar. Están desafiando y descartando órdenes judiciales, están desafiando las leyes y debemos nosotros pararlos aquí y ahora en nuestra ciudad. Este es nuestro barrio, nuestra ciudad y decimos fuerte y claro, fuera ICE, fuera mercenarios, fuera dictadores. Muchas gracias.
Next up, I'd like to bring up State Senator Celina Villanueva.
I'm mad as hell. I'm mad as hell because I am a proud Little Village resident. I grew up in this neighborhood. I am a Southwest Sider. I live in my family's home that I grew up in, and I think every single day about the people that I represent in my district and the people throughout the state of Illinois, because the responsibility goes beyond that as well. I think about all the families that are being broken in this moment, people's rights that are being trampled on, their civil rights, their human rights, their constitutional rights. And what I saw today was a continuation of fascism that Donald Trump and his cronies are trying to instill throughout our entire country. What I witnessed this morning was a community fighting back with nothing but its words, and again, the belief in the Constitution of this country, the belief that we have the constitutional right to protest, to lawful assembly, the belief to fight back for our dignity and respect of our communities, for our humanity. That's what I witnessed today. That's what I witnessed yesterday. Now, we know, and what I've spent most of the rest of this morning and afternoon doing was passing out masks so that my neighbors, my constituents, wouldn't inhale the gas, the tear gas that ICE deployed. That is state-sponsored violence. And we're not taking this seriously enough. And when I say we, it's not the people that are here. I am talking about the people that are watching us right now. It's not just the peoples here whose rights are being trampled on. It is all of us. Of the several people that were taken today, because again, there's about 5 or 6 people here, just in the incident that happened here at the discount mall. That's not inclusive of what happened in Pilsen. That's not inclusive of what happened in Bridgeport. That's not inclusive of what happened on Cicero over by the Sam's Club, where they actually did even more state-sponsored terrorism yesterday. That's not inclusive of all the other incidents that they continue to do throughout the city of Chicago, throughout the suburbs, and the state of Illinois. And in each and every one of those instances, the community fights back. Right. We fight back because we know that the Constitution actually means something and that it's not just a bunch of words. We fight back because right now, our federal government, the person in the White House, isn't doing anything but giving orders to a little man. Because I saw him with my own eyes, face to face, and I'm short, and I know he's shorter than me. Giving orders to a little man with Napoleon complex, who can't even look at people in the eyes and dare call us animals and criminals. But the only criminals I see are those ICE agents.
That's right. Yes, that's right.
The only criminals I see are the ICE agents that continuously break the law. They continuously trample on our constitutional rights. They continuously kidnap people without due process, without warrants, judicial warrants, and signed judicial warrants. But like we've done before, we're gonna fight back. Yes, I want accountability. Yes, I want to make sure that all of these individuals are held accountable for what they've done. And not just the people that they've abducted, but the people that they've hurt, the car crashes that they've created, everything that they've done, and the trauma that they have inflicted on our communities. I fear for our young people who go home and can't see or fear the fact that their parents are going to be there at the end of the day. I fear for our families who don't know how they're going to put food on their table because the main breadwinner is no longer here. See, here's the thing. The people who were arrested yesterday, detained unlawfully by ICE, who were U.S. citizens, we were able to get them out. But my fear continues for the people who we can't get to, because the federal administration, the White House administration, refuses to allow people access to make sure that lawyers are able to talk to their clients. And instead, they move them from place to place to place so that nobody can find them anywhere. We're done with that. We want our families home. We want our people home. We want our loved ones home. And that means everybody. Muy brevemente en español, soy la senadora estatal Celina Villanueva y estoy cansada. No tengo palabras suficientes de lo que siento cada día. No nomás es el temor, sino el amor que tengo a mi comunidad, que me hace hacer todas las cosas que estoy haciendo en este momento con toda esta gente increíble, con la comunidad, porque fue la comunidad y sigue siendo con la comunidad que está luchando contra estos agentes que son criminales, porque están rompiendo las leyes de este país. No les importa los derechos constitucionales que tenemos. Ellos son los criminales, no nosotros. Ellos son los que se tratan de decir que son jueces y nos están juzgando. Pero nosotros, lo que nosotros sabemos es que somos fuertes y que vamos a seguir luchando para proteger a nuestras comunidades. Muchísimas gracias.
If I can ask City Clerk Ana Valencia to step up to the podium.
I come here with just a broken heart, if I'm being honest. I got to watch Ellie, a U.S. citizen, elected official, city employee, graduate from a women's leadership program last Thursday. I got to share that moment with Mike, the Alderman Rodriguez, about how amazing he is, and he knows Chief of Staff, and that she's going places. She's going to run for office. She's going to be the next city clerk, the next mayor. And then to hear yesterday, while you're with another alderman, Alderman Ramirez, walking down Brighton Park neighborhood, meeting business owners who are being devastated, losing all their livelihood right now because no one and everyone is afraid to shop and go out. And so we're trying to do something good in the neighborhood to only hear that she was kidnapped and no one knew where she was, and trying to find out if she shared her location with her family and her friends. This is not Chicago. This is not America that we believe in. This is not what we were promised growing up. This is not normal. It is not normal to carry a whistle in your pocket because you might have to alert people that ICE is on the block. And so the media, please, please, please share the facts, because not everyone is getting the facts that what is happening in Chicago can happen in St. Louis, in Kansas City, in any rural community in Illinois. It can happen tomorrow to your neighbors. And where will you be in history? What will you do? What will you tell your children you did to stand up? Because this group behind us is exhausted. They are tired. They are the front lines. So I'm asking Chicagoans in every neighborhood, please help us and volunteer. Use your money where your values are. Shop at these businesses. Get your Halloween candy here at Dulcelandia. If you're a corporate company, order your food here. Buy your coffee here, not the Starbucks. Please, and come help support your community, because we need it. We can't just be on this group and our first responders, which I'm so happy that we have these rapid response teams. But we need all of you to get involved now. You can't be on the sidelines any longer. We need you to speak up and speak out and carry this message that what is happening is illegal and not normal. People are being kidnapped without any indication of where they're going. So please, media, share this information so that we are not only standing here, brown people alone. We need all of you, our white, our Asian, our black, our faith leaders, our civic leaders, our corporate leaders, to come here with us too and be a little inconvenienced as well. Get a little uncomfortable with us as well and share what is happening in Little Village and beyond. It's on all of us. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to bring up Alderman Andres Vasquez from the 40th Ward and the chairman of the Latino Caucus.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I think we're all tired, but we're all furious. It's been a rough number of weeks. I think all of us here have been driving around, chasing any vehicle with any license plate that isn't an Illinois plate. Anybody with a mask, anybody with a beard, anybody going anywhere. We're watching 24/7. We're exhausted. We're sometimes drained, but what we're not is stopping.
Yes, that's right.
These people are fascists and they're cowards. They're insecure, they're untrained, they could barely drive. It's embarrassing. And we're talking about an even larger embarrassment in the White House. What you're seeing here in Chicago is what this country is about. It is what you do. You stand up to tyrants. You make sure your voices are heard. You stand out to defend the defenseless. And it isn't just about Latino people. It isn't just about our Asian folks. It isn't just black and brown. It's our trans family as well. It's those who are poor. It is everyone here in this country that chooses to stand up for their democracy. But we're not going anywhere.
Yeah. No, we're not.
We're icebreakers over here. Yeah. Straight up. We are going to spend our time teaching everyone, training people, which we've done all across this city, to be rapid responders, to do school patrol, to put information up on businesses. We are training people to be better, stronger, and more ready for every single time they come. And so I want to, it might sound crazy, I appreciate this moment. It's bringing Chicago together more than it ever has. I ain't been to the South Side so often in a week. Trust, we're going to keep doing it. If it's in West Ridge, where we had a couple days ago, a day laborer, somebody just fixing a house, kidnapped, with a 13-year-old daughter who now has no parents here. We have people at Broadview. And we're watching the state police also. We got to call that out. Everyone wants to be an ally while we're watching this thing happen. Here in Chicago, we say the officers don't coordinate. So why are they parking an officer in precincts? Why is that occurring? We need accountability across the board, because when you give an inch, they keep going for more. So I want to thank all of you. I know y'all know the number, but if you don't, 855-435-7693. Right? We're going to write a song, get the hook going. If you don't have it now, you better get it. You need to call ICER. You need to reach out to TRP, NIJC, all the different organizations. If you have money, donate to all of them. And donate your time. At pickup and drop off, go to your local school. Make sure that you got the whistle up. And understand that we're going to be here way longer than they are. This country was built by black and brown folks, descendants of slaves, and by immigrants. And we see under those masks, we got a lot of Mexican faces under those masks. We got a lot of immigrant faces under those masks. Look in the mirror. How do you even walk around? There's no pride in that. You're a fascist. You're Nazis. And we know it.
Shame.
So again, it don't matter where you are. If you're out here, cameras watching, you know what it is as well. And you should be afraid if you're a United States citizen, if you live here, because the rest of the world is built here. You don't think they're going to prepare in case we decide to go overseas? We can defend our own here because we keep us safe. Thank you very much.
Next up, I'd like to bring up Deputy Mayor Beatriz Ponce de Leon.
Thank you. Hi. Buenas tardes, Beatriz Ponce de Leon, Deputy Mayor for Immigrant, Migrant, Refugee Rights for the City of Chicago. Primeramente, de parte del alcalde Johnson, quiero decir gracias. Gracias a todos los que salen cada día para defender nuestras comunidades, a los concejales, los líderes del Estado, todas las personas que se han unido en protección y en apoyo a nuestra comunidad inmigrante. De parte de la ciudad, nosotros seguimos comprometidos a mantener una posición en contra de la militarización de ICE y de CBP en esta ciudad. No es necesario, no los queremos aquí. Ellos lo que están haciendo es causar daño, miedo y terror. En vez de ser un grupo a nivel federal, traer el apoyo que necesitamos realmente en nuestra ciudad. Tenemos varios recursos que quiero compartir si van a chicago.gov para mantenernos informados de nuestros derechos, recursos que la ciudad puede aportar en apoyo en este momento. Y también quiero pedir que las comunidades corporativas, las corporaciones filantrópicas, que pongan su dinero en este esfuerzo. En este momento necesitamos apoyo para los vendedores ambulantes, para los negocios de nuestras comunidades, para las personas que están siendo impactadas y separadas de sus familias. Y aunque la comunidad se ha unido, aunque hay grupos que han ya aportado fondos, se van a necesitar más. Y es un momento en el que las personas con medios financieros pueden cooperar. I want to say that on behalf of Mayor Brandon Johnson, we will continue to be a welcoming city in Chicago. We will continue to uphold our welcoming city ordinance. We will uphold people's right to protest and protect people's First Amendment rights. We know that our city is standing up. We're at the front lines of this fight across the country. Cities are looking to Chicago. They're inspired by what is happening here, by the unity that is seen here, and the ways that people are coming together to protect our city, to protect each other. We also know that it's time for others to pitch in. Rapid responders have done an amazing job. Our elected officials at the city, state, and congressional level have done an amazing job. Black, brown, immigrant communities are all coming together. But we know that we need funding to support those families that are being impacted. We need funding to support the day laborers that can't work, the street vendors that have lost their businesses, and the small businesses that are struggling. So I call on our philanthropic community and our corporate community to pitch in, to find a way to support and to step up in this moment to help those who are being impacted by this crisis. And I invite you all to visit chicago.gov, where we have the Protecting Chicago materials and information. We have signage that people can display in their businesses to keep ICE out for our ICE-free zones. We know that they're not going to respect that. We know that they are lawless, and as federal agents are supposed to be upholding law and order, they are the worst ones that are doing completely the opposite. But pushing back and staying united is the way that we will succeed. Y como sabemos todos, aquí estamos y no nos vamos. Thank you.
Next up, I'd like to bring up one of our partners, Bassam from the Illinois Coalition of Immigrant and Refugee Rights.
Thank you. We go to the same barber, I noticed. I'll be delivering a joint statement on behalf of the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights and the people that I'm proud of and the brave rapid responders, La Villita Se Defiende, and Berwyn Cicero Rapid Response Teams. Today, here in Little Village and the town of Cicero and surrounding neighborhoods, we experienced another ICE and CBP rampage through our communities, putting our families and neighbors in danger. Rapid response teams observed and documented today tear gas that's laid right there in front of your cameras, deployed with no warning, in complete violation of recent court orders around excessive use of force. At least 20 Border Patrol agents and 10 vehicles circling shoppers in a plaza in Cicero, abducting 2 teenagers in Little Village, and a total of at least 10 abductions across this part of today's operation. At least 24 agents, ICE and CBP, intimidating customers right here in this plaza in Little Village. And then the disgusting Greg Bovino, again posing as the cult leader he is, against the backdrop of the heart of Chicagoland's Mexican community, staging for his own photo op while agents brutalized our neighbors. As our communities have shown in Little Village, in Cicero, across Illinois, we are fighting back against the authoritarian power grab and rejecting the lies that have been coming out of DHS before and after every one of their violent actions. Like yesterday in Little Village and Cicero, and in communities across the state of Illinois, neighbors once again showed up to support one another, sound the alarm in the face of complete lawlessness. For the second day in a row, these on-the-spot actions by Cicero, Little Village residents, and neighborhoods across Chicago and Illinois did stop ICE and CBP's attempt to further occupy their neighborhoods. As Member of Congress arrived in Chicago this week for a field hearing on ICE and CBP's brutality against our communities, we ask that they lift up the events of today, the events of yesterday, the events of the past couple weeks here in Illinois. And we ask that they challenge this illegal occupation and scare tactics that is being used by this administration, and demand that their fellow representatives take action to end these attacks on Chicago, Cicero, Illinois, and all places facing political retribution from this Trump administration. We encourage all community members to know your rights and to continue to hold space in your neighborhood. You have the right to record law enforcement.
Yep.
You have the right to remain silent.
Yes.
You have the right to ask for an attorney.
Yes.
And you have the right to refuse to sign any documents.
Yes.
If you see immigration enforcement activity in your neighborhood, or if someone in your family has been taken, please call the ICER FSN hotline. It is here for service, and the number again is 855-435-7693. Together, we continue to demand ICE out of Chicago, ICE out of Cicero, ICE out of Illinois, ICE out of everywhere. Thank you.
Ice out, right? Ice out.
Next up, I'd like to bring up Dan Pogorzeski, former Metropolitan Water Reclamation and Polish American Community.
Perdón, yo soy polaquito y hablo un poquito español. Before I say anything else, I want to thank Alderman Byron Sixer-Lopez for inviting me to speak on behalf of the Polish community. I also want to point out that my countrywoman, Monika Starczuk, yes, from SEIU Local 1 is here. My dad's American dream started just a few blocks away from here at 2253 South Sacramento. But what's happening right now, this is truly a nightmare for all of our neighbors. Just a few days ago, a couple of Polish contractors were picked up in Albany Park and abducted as well.
That ain't right.
And I have a very simple message. Now, either we stand together or we get picked off one by one.
That's right. That's right.
Folks often call me Polish Dan, so I'm going to have a Polish lesson for everyone. Don't worry, there's not 27 consonants, it's one word. It's the word for together, razem. So what I'm going to ask is everybody say, razem.
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 And that's how we win.
Next up, I'd like to bring up Lisa Wright, the Director of Government Affairs for the Chinese American Service League.
All right, Lisa. Woo.
All right, so I'm with the Chinese American Service League, or CASL. We're a social services nonprofit. We serve over 7,000 people all over Chicago. We're deeply concerned about how current immigration practices are traumatizing survivors of domestic violence and preventing them from accessing life-saving services.
That's right.
In recent weeks, survivors have come to us, called us, and say that they're too afraid to come in for help.
Yep.
That they're afraid that simply seeking help, like legal services, counseling services, puts them at risk of being taken by ICE or deportation. One person, for example, her visa status is dependent on her abusive spouse. Her abusive spouse also have restricted her from working and access to independence. They also share a child together. So she now faces the impossible choice between safety and deportation. These are not isolated stories. These only capture the voices that were able to reach CASL and other community members. Current immigration policies, they're empowering abusers, and they're trapping survivors of domestic violence and victims into cycles of violence and isolation. Masked officers on unmarked cars worsen the situation. Nobody should have to choose between safety and deportation. Nobody. These immigration enforcement practices are empowering abusers. They're empowering abuse, excessive force, and it's failing families, and it's failing the community, and it's failing service providers like us who are trying to help. And I urge lawmakers to end these practices, and we stand in solidarity with all of the groups that are here and the communities here. Thank you.
That's right. Thank you, Lisa.
Next up, I'd like to call up Jennifer Crespo with the Hispanic Lawyers of Illinois.
All right.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jennifer Crespo. I am also Polish Jewish. I am Filipina. I am Puerto Rican. I am an attorney. I am an attorney with the Hispanic Lawyers Rapid Response Team. This past month, my colleagues and I have had weapons pointed at us from vehicles resembling tanks, things I've never seen in this city before. We've been tear gassed without any warning. And it hurts. And it's scary. But I'm here today because we are undeterred. We're undeterred because we have a responsibility. Our Rapid Response Network is a collection of attorneys from diverse backgrounds and practice areas because, folks, this is not just an immigration issue. This is a civil rights issue.
Yes, it is.
So we have united to strategically and rapidly respond to the very urgent legal needs of our communities. This includes augmenting our partners' efforts throughout the state, not just in Chicago, to provide support both on the ground and in the courtroom. As officers of the court, we affirm our commitment to uphold the Constitution and the rule of law, and to ensure that all members of our community have access to justice. Buenas tardes, me llamo Jennifer Crespo, una abogada de HLAI, Hispanic Lawyers Rapid Response Network, un grupo de abogados de diversos orígenes y áreas de práctica que se han unido para responder a las necesidades legales urgentes de nuestras comunidades. Esto incluye fortalecer los esfuerzos de nuestros socios en todo el estado para brindar apoyo tanto en el terreno como en los tribunales. Abogados somos funcionarios judiciales y reafirmamos nuestro compromiso de defender la Constitución y el Estado de Derecho y de garantizar que todos los miembros de nuestra comunidad tengan acceso a la justicia. Gracias.
Yeah, Jennifer. All right. Last but not least, I'd like to bring up Noah Halperin with CARE Chicago.
Good afternoon. Noah Halperin, CARE Chicago, and the Chicago United Families Coalition. You've heard stories here from our leaders about what's happening on the ground, and they're essential. And I think, as Jennifer just rightly pointed out, we also want to be in the courtroom. And there are active court cases going on. We've seen that a federal district court judge here in Chicago has put limits on what ICE is supposed to be doing, right? There has been a settlement agreement reached in which ICE is supposed to be behaving a certain way. And they are just not doing those things. They are not following court orders. And we want evidence of that. You know, lawyers are fighting these battles. So call ICER, call CARE, call whatever your number is. I don't know it. But find those numbers. ICER, right, the number we've all been singing out, 855-435-7693. It is an incredible resource to put you in touch with the lawyers who are fighting in the courtrooms. We want your evidence. We want your videos. We want your documentation. We know that ICE and DHS is willing to lie. And when we have the concrete evidence, when we can show it, we can prove their lies. And we can do everything we can to stop their behavior. And that is what we need to do both in the streets and in the courtroom and everywhere we possibly can. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, very quickly, I just wanted to state the following. I want to thank Jennifer because it was HLAI, the National Lawyers Guild attorneys, who followed up on Eliane and Jackie's case yesterday and alerted us and her family that she was safe. So thank you, all of you, for all the work you're doing. Also with us today, and last night we had a press conference in front of my office where there were black, Asian, white elected officials from throughout the city, including Alder Jesse Fuentes and Senator Graciela Guzman. But here with us today, Alderman Gil Villegas, Alderman Felix Cardona, State Rep Aaron Ortiz, and State Rep Teresa Ma. Give them a round of applause, please, for being here. And last but certainly, anybody else that I miss? Elected officials? No? All right. Marcy, you're up.
Thank you. So, we want to thank everybody for being here. Mike is going to say one last announcement, and then I wanted to give a special thanks to Matt and the New Life team for really helping us put this together very last minute. And he will close us with a prayer. But Mike has an announcement.
Oh, just real quick. 3:15, there will be another press conference over at Benito Juarez High School for the young man who's taken. Tomorrow, Senator Durbin will be joining us around this time as well. We'll put that out as well. That'll probably be in front of my office, but we'll let folks know. And we'll remind everyone to come on out again tomorrow if you wish. So, to prayer.
Good afternoon, everybody. Matt DiMatteo from New Life. I've lived and served in Little Village for the last 25 years. And I will say it has been a roller coaster of pain and sorrow, but also pride and joy at the way our community has come together. And Chicago needs to continue to come together for this moment. So I'm going to end us in prayer, but I want to highlight one effort that we're all trying to do together. Is this past week we launched what's called the Community Care Resource Network, and it's a space in partnership with many nonprofits in Little Village, with the Greater Chicago Food Depository, where we're providing food for families, emergency supplies, jackets, coats, gas masks. I never thought I'd have to place an order for 200 gas masks, but we placed that order this morning. Also, just a space for families who have been impacted by ICE that they can receive resources. If you'd like to check it out and learn more, newlifecenters.org/communitycare. We'd love to partner with nonprofits, churches, and others trying to do this because we need each other and we truly believe that we're stronger together. I'm going to close our time in prayer for our great neighborhood, for the city of Chicago. God, we come before you and we just ask that you will protect our streets. We just ask that you protect our neighbors. We pray for the 2,500 plus who have been taken this year alone, Lord. We pray for those who are in detention right now, whether it's in Broadview, across the state or across the country, Lord. We pray that you remind them that you are close to them, close to the brokenhearted, that they are not alone. We just pray against the powers of ICE, Lord. We just ask that you protect our streets, we protect our neighborhood. We know many of our neighbors, our students, our families are living in fear. We know many of our businesses are being crushed and losing business, Lord. And we just pray that we would unite together as Chicago, that you guard and protect our streets, and that we just pray for unity across this great city and across this country. We need each other. We pray that whether people on the right or on the left, that we'd come together as one, remembering that this is one nation under God, indivisible, Lord. And we just pray that we would remind ourselves of where we've come from, that we could acknowledge that this is not how we should be, and that we'd continue to work toward a better Chicago, a better Illinois, and a better United States, Lord. We pray protection, we pray for provision, and we pray for unity across our great city. We pray all this in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. Amen.
So lastly, just to end, I want to acknowledge there's a family of one of the people arrested here. So we just want to acknowledge them, to the daughters of one of the person who was arrested here. So the sisters, I'm sorry. So I want to acknowledge them and thank them for all you do. Thank you so much for being here. We invite also to all the media press, once again, Alderman Rodriguez said, at 3:15 there will be a press conference on Ashland and Cermak about the situation is at Benito Juarez for the conditions of what's happened to our children, to our minors. And thank you again for coming.
Thank you, guys.
I was at the courthouse. I didn't have access to my phone. No. So the jury went to deliberation.
No, we appreciate you.
But we just got dismissed. Well, the jury went to deliberations. You know, this is for the case of the older gentleman who was killed in 2021, December 2021. He was shot. The trial is now, so the community is all there. So him on the other. And then when they go back
been rough. A bunch of stuff happened in Brighton Park, I guess, today too.
And Bridgeport.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. Hey, thank you.
Sorry, I apologize.
Rebecca is